Welcome everyone, my name is Jacob. Thank you for joining me. In previous videos, we've looked at different types of software that we can use on our phone to help us with our hunting and scouting efforts. We looked at 6 different hunt map applications in a comparative fashion and ranked them. We've also looked at 9 different weather apps and to try to determine which of those bring the most value and versatility for us and our needs. And we've also looked at different non-hunting apps and websites to help us evaluate foot traffic in areas that we might be traveling to get a sense of where the populations are or aren't. And today we're going to actually look at physical gear. Now, as hunters, we absolutely go crazy about different sources of light, different types of flashlights. I use these in different capacities if I'm processing an elk or a deer out in the field, or if I'm tracking, and they're fantastic. I really do. I look at a different flashlight every time I'm in a hunting store, or if I'm on Amazon, that sort of thing. It's sort of an addiction I think that a lot of us have. It's sort of similar to maybe the way we feel about knives. We're always tinkering with knives, and that'll be a different video for a different day. But today we're going to really look at headlamps. And there are 2 different types of headlamps. We have the more traditional box style headlamp. A lot of you all are very familiar with this style of headlamp. And then we have the more cylinder style of headlamp. This seems to be a newer type of headlamp on the market and offers some different things that maybe the box style doesn't. And if you look at the headlamp marketplace, there are literally thousands of iterations of branded and then sort of non-branded versions of headlamps. And it would be insane to try to rank and review 1,000 of these headlamps. And so what I've tried to do is take a look at 9 different headlamps, and that would be 5 of the box style headlamp and 4 of the cylinder style headlamp. And I guarantee you there's a brand that you might be interested in and you're wondering, why did I not look at that one? And the point is that use this evaluation as a way to evaluate what you really want in a headlamp, and maybe discern whether you want something that has 400 lumens or 1,000 lumens. Maybe you want a long battery life so that you don't have to recharge the light while you're in the backcountry or bring extra batteries. And is it rechargeable at all? Some of these are not. What about waterproofing? For example, each of these come with a different ingress protection rating. And so IPX4 is splash proof, and IPX7 is waterproof up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. And IPX6 is high pressure waterproof. So it really depends on what your needs are. You might want a light that has red, green, and blue as an option. Some of these don't have that, but I know a lot of us like that when we enter the woods, or because it maybe doesn't alert game, or it doesn't impact our vision the way white light does. There are other features such as a charge indicator or a lock, so it doesn't turn on while it's in your backpack. There's a lot of things, and what I tried to put all of this down on a spreadsheet. If you go to my Instagram page, you get this, hit the Linktree profile, you'll be able to pull this down for free and get a chance to look at it yourself in a comparative fashion. The other aspect that I took a look at as it relates to these headlamps, all 9 of them, was I purchased a light meter, and I use this to evaluate the lux. So if you look at a flashlight and it has an advertised lumens, that's the light output. It's coming out of here. But what is the lux? And that's the amount of light that's hitting an object at a certain distance. And so some lights may be very adjustable in terms of the beam. Some may be more static, where it's just one beam setting. And you have different modes with all these different lights. What I did was look at the lux at arm's length and at 10 feet. And really, it's just another point of data that you can use to look at in your evaluation. It doesn't mean that one may be better or worse. This light, for example, is incredibly bright. It's 1500 lumens, but it broadcasted in a very broad fashion. And I love this light, but it will burn through its battery very quickly. Whereas another light may not have as high of or may have a greater lux rating, but maybe that's not what I need. I want something that has more broadcast, more light across a bigger span, maybe for tracking purposes or what have you. So that's the sort of high level view. Again, use this evaluation to figure out what you need or what you want next time that you're shopping for a headlamp. What we're going to do now, and this is part one, we're just going to look at the box style headlamp. In part two, we will look at the cylinder style headlamp. And so for this section, as you can see, I have a bowl of water here, and I have all of the 5 box style headlamps. They've been soaking for a while or marinating, and I wanted to just get a sense of, are they waterproof in this capacity? And they've been in here for a good 10 to 15 minutes. And so in no particular order, I'm just going to go through my impressions at a very high level. I'll give you some different things to consider, but we'll start with the Black Diamond headlamp, and this is the Black Diamond Storm. And you can see it still works after soaking, and it is $45. It puts out 400 lumens. It is very well built, in my opinion. It has a latch here that protects the insides, the batteries, and whatnot. And I hope you can see that there. And very well built. I know other folks use this. It's quite popular. It does have a charge indicator on the side here. It is IPX7, which is the highest waterproofing rating of any of the 9 lamps. Runs 150 hours on low. It has 6 light modes. It does do red, green, and blue. And like nearly every headlamp here, it's made in China. So you're not going to find any of these that are made in the USA. I'm sorry if that's something that's interesting to you. It does have a lock, so you can keep it from turning on while it's in your backpack. And I was just really impressed by this. I don't use a Black Diamond personally, but I was really impressed with this, and I could see purchasing this if this was something that I was going to use. I mean, the limitation, of course, with a box style headlamp is that it really doesn't do the 180 degrees. It's more sort of straight ahead and then down. So it does have some of limitations just in the design from that standpoint. The next lamp we'll take a look at here is this is a Duracell headlamp. This is $20. It's 350 lumens, so you're getting very high output at half the price of the Black Diamond. It was very, very high in terms of its lux output. Remember, looking at the light using the light sensor, it was much higher than it was pretty much. I mean, it smashed the Black Diamond when I look at the sheet. This is an IPX rating of 4 in terms of waterproofing. So again, this is quote unquote splash proof, but it did survive the soaking here in the bowl, and it runs 15 hours on low. So you're making a trade-off here. It does have red as an option, and it does have, if you hold this button down, there's the red light. So I like that feature where it's a separate way to turn on the red light. You don't have to cycle through to get to the red light, which I know a lot of us can't stand because we're trying to do whatever we're trying to do, and we don't want to have to cycle through each of the lights. But I feel like this is very highly durable, very well built. It has a latch here on the top that opens up, and this is a light that I've personally used quite a bit and love it, have no problems with it. This is Coast lamp. You may have seen these in Costco. This is actually $35. It's 435 lumens. It does have an adjustable light here in terms of how it broadcasts the light. The lux rating on this was also equally as high as the Duracell light. It's an IPX rating, IPX of 4, so splash proof, and you can see it's done just fine with it while it's soaked in the water. It runs 8 hours on low. It does have a red light. It has a separate button here for the red, which again I like. It does not have a lock, and it does not have a charge indicator, as did neither did the Duracell, but it is highly durable, and this is one that I've used as well. And again, it's $35. I probably would rate it a little bit lower because I'm getting less lumens for my dollar, if you really want to take a look at it that way. We're going to look at the Petzl, and this is the Tactica, and this is made in France. This is actually one that it specifically states that it's made for hunting, and I'm not crazy about this lamp. I would say of the 5 box style lamps, I would rate this last. It seems very chintzy. It has survived the dunk test, but I just don't like the build of it. It has a clasp here. It's 350 lumens. It was $60. So I'm getting less lumens for my dollar. It did have a very high lux rating at arm's length on high. And again, all of these were evaluated on their highest output as it relates to the lux. Again, IPX4. It does come with it does have the option of a rechargeable battery, but that is purchased separately. And none of the other lights that I've shared so far are rechargeable. They're all AAA batteries. This is 160 hours on low, and it does have the red, green, and blue. It has 5 light modes. Again, it feels very chintzy, very cheap, and less durable as compared to the other lights. And I think as you look at the headlamp market, I think you're going to see more and more either influencers on Instagram or YouTube, or flat out hunting companies present their own hunting lamp and charge you a premium for it. And I hate that. I despise that. It irritates me to death when a hunting company or an influencer takes a Chinese brand and slaps camo on it or slaps their name on it. And we see it in different aspects of the marketplace with hunting. And you may even say, it happens in supplements. If you take a look at my shirt, they're slapping a particular camo or logo on supplements. I'm sure we see it with some of the clothing that we wear, although some brands out there are highly specialized, and maybe an argument could be made that it's truly designed with a hunter in mind. But just there's something to keep in mind as you're looking at different headlamps. And again, as you look at the Petzl, it states that it's designed specifically for hunters, and that may be the case, but you're paying $60 for something that I can get more value with a different brand that's not stated specific for hunting. So enough of that soapbox. The last brand here is an Amazon brand or a Chinese brand. This is LHKNL, and it is 1,100 lumens. You get 2 of these for $22, so it's $11 a piece. That's 1 cent a lumen. And it does have a charge indicator here on the side. It is an IPX4, meaning it's splash proof, but it did survive the dunk test. It had a decent lux output. It is rechargeable. It runs 10 hours on low. So there you go. There's a trade-off there. It has 8 light modes. It does have red as an option. It has a motion sensor that you can activate. None of the other lights have that, but this does have that motion sensor that you can activate. And it does have a strobe light. It to me is obviously, it just feels chintzy and less durable. It's a little bit like the Petzl, but for $11, I mean, this will burn your corneas. It's that bright. So I would put this somewhere near the top in terms of if I had to rate them. But that wraps up the review of the 5 different box style headlamps. And again, you're going to look at price, you're going to look at lumens, maybe lux, waterproof, rechargeable, red, green, blue, the battery use in terms of duration. Those are some things that you want to think about. I hope that this was helpful. In part 2, we're going to again look at the cylinder style of headlamps and evaluate them in a very similar fashion. And then at the end of that, I'll sort of give you my overall sort of ranking, if you will, if you really want to understand sort of what my number 1 would be. But thank you for watching. Please head to my Instagram page, pull this spreadsheet down if you want to take a look at that, and then like and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to continue to do more gear-related stuff to help us as hunters discern where the value and the versatility really is for us. Thank you.